Information herein is for entertainment purposes only and not to be taken as legal, assay, business, valuation, or investment advice. Inclusion or exclusion of instruments in this presentation is not an endorsement or non-endorsement thereof, nor a representation of quality, value, or functionality. Information obtained from reliable sources but is not guaranteed for accuracy or completeness. No copyright or trademark infringement is intended, and ownership of all copyrights and trademarks are acknowledged. This presentation may be publicly exhibited in its entirety for educational purposes. All rights reserved. To avoid personal injury and property damage, thoroughly research available health and safety literature before working with, or around, neodymium magnets, testing acids, and test instruments. Wear eye protection, gloves, and other appropriate personal protective equipment. Follow all instructions provided in user manuals. Use only under adult supervision. Tungsten-filled gold can be problematic for novice investors and collectors. Consider that gold and tungsten have nearly identical weight, gold weighing in at 19.30 grams per cubic centimeter, tungsten just a tad lower at 19.25 grams. Therefore, the weight and dimensions of a 1 troy ounce genuine gold coin would be nearly indistinguishable from a gold-plated tungsten counterfeit. Tungsten-filled counterfeits can, among others, include Krugerrands, American Eagles, and Canadian Maple Leafs, as well as countless generic bars and a large variety of other precious metal products, including jewelry. Tungsten can also be referred to by its other name, wolfram. While the overall weight and dimensions for tungsten and gold are virtually identical, tungsten inclusions can be detected by techniques explored throughout this presentation. Let's look at some potentially confusing similarities between genuine gold and gold-plated tungsten counterfeits. Weight may be true to genuine. Dimensions may be true to genuine. Non-ferro magnetic comparable to genuine. May pass scratchstone acid test. Here we see an ad for a tungsten-filled counterfeit which actually uses a picture of a genuine gold American buffalo. Scammers frequently use photographs of genuine products in their advertisements. Buyers, however, will receive a much lower quality product which lacks the sharpness, detail, quality, and value of a genuine original. Tungsten-filled counterfeits may exhibit similar weight and dimensions of a genuine gold coin. Therefore, identifying tungsten-filled gold should start with studying the coin's external characteristics. Recognizing the characteristics of counterfeits can help distinguish genuine gold from fakes. Novice buyers, new collectors, and inexperienced investors are among those who are most likely to be fooled by counterfeits. The coin on your screen is that of an actual gold-plated tungsten counterfeit. Examining the photograph can reveal a number of significant quality issues, the most notable of which is the fake's overall sloppy appearance. General shoddy appearance. Lacks overall detail and sharpness. Letters and numbers are not crisp and nor well defined. Washed out, watery or mushy, and lackluster appearance. Instrument strings lack definition. Looks awkward compared to a genuine. Color hues may differ from a genuine coin. This type of counterfeit can generally be identified by experienced buyers, collectors, and investors. Low-quality gold core tungsten coins represent a risk primarily to inexperienced buyers. Exercise caution with gold purchased on overseas wholesale sites, online auction sites, social media platforms, garage sales, flea markets, consignment shops, and other such venues. The ability to test and verify gold before purchase will help keep you from becoming a victim. Watch for these red flags. Price below market or too good to be true. Seller is in a hurry. Seller is unknown to the buyer and/or from out of town. Coin lacks detail and has an odd, shoddy appearance. Seller highlights weight and dimension tests which he claims are proof of the coin's authenticity. Seller highlights scratchstone acid tests which he claims is proof of the coin's authenticity. Seller reinforces the coin's non-magnetic properties, which he claims is proof of the coin's authenticity. Seller does not have a receipt nor the time for you to check with an expert. If seller fails to convince you to buy, he will claim you don't know what you are doing and just missed out on the greatest deal ever. Let's study a counterfeit tungsten core American Gold Eagle by first reviewing the unverified specifications published by the counterfeiters. United States counterfeiting laws are violated as prescribed by U.S. state and federal statutes, but there are no professional standards in foreign countries that govern the manufacture of fake American gold coins. All information published by counterfeiters should be considered suspect. Advertised characteristics of a 1-ounce counterfeit American Gold Eagle. Tungsten core with 22K gold mantle. Diameter, 32.7 mm. Weight, 33.93 grams. Thickness, 2.87 mm. These specifications, if accurate and believable, would match the characteristics of a genuine 1-ounce U.S. Gold Eagle. Foreign counterfeits may not use identical non-gold alloys in the composition of the 22-karat mantle. X-ray fluoroscopy, XRF, analysis might therefore reveal differences in the mantle of a genuine American Gold Eagle compared to a counterfeit. Since XRF instruments have penetration depth limits, it may therefore be possible to detect tungsten core fakes by comparing the outer mantle properties of a fake with those of a genuine coin. XRF analysis should take into account the published gold plating thickness of the forgery, an example of which is shown. The tungsten core American Eagle is represented as having a 60-micron gold layer. Very little credible information is available on coating thickness of tungsten core gold products, even though this information would be important for determining if XRF analysis is appropriate. Mexican gold Libertads can be counterfeited with tungsten cores. Scrutinizing the displayed Libertad, you sense that something is off, particularly the lack of sharp, crisp detail, flat relief and distinct dull luster. Letters and numbers also lack crisp definition and clarity. Reeds lack depth and distinction and the rim exhibits a rough feel and appearance. External coloring of counterfeits lack the hue and luster of genuine gold. Lack of detail and sloppy appearance may be the first hint of a tungsten counterfeit. Verification of authenticity starts with checking weight and dimensions against published specifications. Visual comparison of the counterfeit and a genuine coin, or a high-resolution photograph, can reveal significant differences. Harder to detect are sophisticated fakes such as hollowed-out bars and American Gold Eagles. The resulting cavity is filled with a tungsten slug as shown on your screen. Counterfeits thus created are nearly impossible to detect by visual inspection alone, as the coin retains all of its external mint-struck characteristics. Highly magnified examination of the area where top and bottom parts meet may reveal a hairline gap. Tungsten core bars also retain the detailed characteristics of the original, including hallmarks. Let's explore some precise measurements that may help identify tungsten core counterfeit coins and bars. Identification of gold-plated tungsten can be challenging, even for experienced individuals using instruments that have gained acceptance in the precious metals sphere. Dimensions and composition of samples as well as instrument calibration, ambient and sample temperature, competency of user, environmental factors, instrumentation limits, proper conductive gels and individual test interpretations can influence results. You may wish to conduct more than just one single screening. Conducting multiple evaluations using various instruments and techniques increases the chance of successfully screening for tungsten core gold. Let's explore several popular tests for screening tungsten-filled gold. While you may not be familiar with all of these simple and affordable tools and procedures, motivated individuals after some online research should be able to learn and perform these tests. Information on your screen shows that tungsten core coins may pass a number of common counterfeit screenings using affordable instruments. Common tests pass or fail. Weight and dimension test may pass if we trust the specifications provided by counterfeiters, which is never a good idea. Standard magnet test may pass. Scratch stone acid test may pass. Common specific gravity test may pass. Expert visual examination in comparison to a known good coin may or may not identify fake. Ping test may identify fake. Not all precious metal buyers, collectors, coin or pawn shops have resources to perform tests outlined above. Considering the potential for financial loss, it is important to be familiar with, and have access to, a number of screening tools as well as their benefits and limitations. Tungsten screening techniques may require advanced instruments. You may not be familiar with these tests, but serious collectors, stackers, bullion dealers and retail outlets should be familiar with the capabilities and limitations of available instruments. XRF analysis, for example, identifies only surface material. Because of its penetration limits, XRF may prove inadequate for analyzing dense, hard matter, like tungsten core gold. X-rays may easily penetrate human tissue, but dense matter like gold creates a serious barrier. Since XRF may only penetrate gold's outer layers, it can leave inner components unidentified. Sigma's Precious Metals Verifier Pro, PMV Pro, shown on your screen is a popular and robust instrument used in the precious metals sphere. PMV Pro features 2 onboard bridge sensors and optional wands that test both the metal's surface resistivity and the resistivity through the sample. This feature identifies any dissimilar inclusions, like tungsten beneath a gold mantle. Moreover, PMV Pro can also test metal densities by taking the entered weight and calculating the expected size of the sample by comparing its dimensions to the perforated lines shown on the Sigma Pro. Ultrasound uses velocity of sound measurements to determine if a coin or bar matches the expected depth of a precious metal product. Sound travels at different speeds through gold and tungsten, which allows you to screen for tungsten inclusions by comparing the thickness of the product with the thickness calculated by the ultrasonic tester. It sounds complicated, but it's really quite simple, and ultrasonic testers are surprisingly affordable. Ultrasound testers are available for a variety of applications, so remember to compare products before purchase. Eddy current measurements are used in a wide variety of industrial applications, including non-destructive screening of precious metals. Handheld eddy current instruments such as the Sigma Scope Gold series can scan for foreign inclusions such as tungsten. Several Sigma Scope models are available for screening various thicknesses of gold bullion. Our next slide briefly examines how testing for weak magnetic properties can screen gold for authenticity. Knowing the strengths and limitations of your apparatus optimizes the conclusions from your precious metals assay. Scales shown represent adaptation of a jeweler's scale to a magnetic weight scale, which registers weak diamagnetic or paramagnetic properties. Pure gold, for example, has diamagnetic properties, whereas tungstens are paramagnetic. Approaching neodymium magnets will cause gold to register a slight weight increase, whereas a tungsten core sample will register a decrease. Overall magnetic weight change can be influenced by the ratio of tungsten to gold. Identifying weak magnetic properties is a significant, yet inconclusive, precious metals screening tool. Inconclusive because other objects also exhibit diamagnetic and paramagnetic properties. Just because an object exhibits diamagnetic properties does not confirm gold. Similarly, objects exhibiting paramagnetic properties do not confirm the presence of tungsten. Know that a plethora of matter, including wood and water, also exhibit their respective weak diamagnetic or paramagnetic properties in the presence of neodymium magnets. Knowing the strengths and limitations of your equipment allows you to optimize conclusions from your precious metals assay. A jeweler's scale adapted to register paramagnetic or diamagnetic properties is illustrated here. Scales sensitive to 0.000 grams are recommended. A lightweight magnetic neutral styrofoam pedestal elevates the coin to prevent the approaching magnet from creating inaccurate readings by interacting with the scale's internal components. When using a neodymium magnet, never place a coin directly on the scale without it being elevated. Neodymium magnets generate strong magnetic fields that can damage the scale's internal components. Always elevate the object being tested. To register the effects of neodymium magnets, tare the scale to 0, including the coin and pedestal, before carefully lowering the magnet to within millimeters of the coin. Ignore any brief weight fluctuations which are generated by temporary eddy currents from the approaching magnet. Pure gold, for example, has diamagnetic properties, whereas tungsten's properties are paramagnetic. Approaching neodymium magnets causes gold to register a slight weight increase, whereas a sample containing tungsten registers a decrease, which may be influenced by the tungsten to gold ratio. Identifying weak magnetic properties is a significant, yet inconclusive, precious metals screening tool. Inconclusive because other ordinary objects also exhibit diamagnetic and paramagnetic properties. Just because an object exhibits diamagnetic properties does not confirm gold. Conversely, an object that exhibits paramagnetic properties does not confirm the presence of tungsten. Knowing the strengths and limitations of your apparatus optimizes the conclusions from your precious metals assay. Specific gravity tests are well established in science, medicine, gemology, and may be useful to screen for counterfeit coins, bullion, and bars. Since a number of often overlooked dynamics, including water temperature, water mineral content, and even the inadvertent introduction of tiny air bubbles, can influence results, specific gravity tests may not be suitable for testing alloys that exhibit similar densities such as tungsten and gold. In the absence of highly precise scientific instruments and strictly controlled laboratory conditions, you may wish to not rely on specific gravity measurements to screen tungsten-plated gold. World economies are facing significant headwinds, a trend that will persist for decades. These challenges will force many individuals to resort to fraudulent, dishonest, and criminal activities. Subscribe now and don't miss any of our future segments that detail fraud in the gold and silver markets. Future segments explore specific tricks and tactics used to deceive buyers, fleece jewelers, and even defraud coin and bullion dealers. We will also demonstrate the capabilities of various precious metal testing instruments and techniques to help prevent you from becoming a victim. Unsolicited material sent to this channel becomes the property of the owner and will not be returned. We regretfully cannot answer questions, respond to requests, or offer opinions regarding any specific consumer issue or dispute. Our limited resources are sufficient only to focus on future video segments. Please like, share, subscribe, and support.